In this video, I want to provide a little bit more clarity around the concept of measured moves. If you're in my training, you know that that's a component of trading that I use to find good places to buy on retracements, especially in the crypto market, in equities, and in forex. And there's a couple, really just one big gotcha on measured moves that I think most people get, but I was in a conversation or a direct message with a couple people and realized that this small little component of measured moves is often overlooked. So that's what I'll cover in this video. Should be a short video. We'll just kind of get to the point. So right now we're looking at AEON, BTC on Binance, and a measured move really is just, I'm going to use the tool here and go from this high. So we'll go from this high to this low right here. A measured move is just that. It's a measured move that you can use to kind of plot the market movements, that you can use for an expectation of a retracement so that you can look for a bottom. I know a lot of traders say that you shouldn't trade tops or bottoms. In crypto, it's one of the things you have to get good at. You have to get good at realizing when things might have bottomed and understand where you should start looking for those bottoms. So what I just drew there from this top, from this high to this low here, this low range, is roughly 45%. Now, if we take that same measured move and we move it down here, we'll just take the same bar and move from this high here to this low here, which is another bottom. That's the same length line, but it's a 59% move. Now, this, I'm sure everybody that's trading, that's watching this video, you already get that. But this is something to keep in mind, that the move at a lower level is a greater distance move if you use the same measured move line. And I'll share an example of how this would be, or I'll share why this is important. So if you're using the same line and you're just dragging it across the chart to see if it aligns, this is one strategy to do this. And in my measured move video, I go into detail about this, but this is one strategy. You can use typical movements within the chart logarithmic scale itself to actually measure the moves. The better way to do that is a percentage move, because typically that's how the market moves. So if we take this and we say this is 45%, well, what we would want to do is then go from this high and do a 45%. I have the wrong actual tool. Go here, and 45% is right about here. You'll see that that market move doesn't hold up on this chart, at least in recent memory. I'm not going to go into detail with market moves. I'm sharing this specific point because I want to make sure that no one's making these mistakes. Of that, the biggest mistake is dragging this line here and not realizing that it's not the same physical amount of percentage move on what you're trading. That's the biggest mistake. The next thing, so let's go on to another measured move area. So right now, this looks to be a bottom potentially. We look to be in a bottoming period here. So what we'd want to look at is, what are the potential retracement opportunities here? And this is using the high method. I'm not going to use the mid method, but if we just go here and we say from here to here, that's a 33%. And let's do this here. From this high to this low, that's a 33%. Okay. So let's go from here to here. I realize that this is an advanced video for people that haven't watched a lot of my videos, but I just want to cover this topic quick. 33% is here, right in this range. So here in this range. So if the market gets into a retracement mode and it wants to retrace beyond this low, and this low isn't the bottom, this would be the measured move we'd be looking for. Now, the other way to do this, just to give the full circle, is you take all these and you move them here. And you see if they align. And you see they're aligning within this area. This is our strike zone on a retracement. If we feel like there's an upside, there's a turnaround, and we see stopping volume and other things in this area. Now, of course, the other thing to expect here, in just to go full circle, is that we anticipate a upward movement in the market here. Maybe an upward movement of tested of this actual inflection point. This is an inflection point right here. I know I'm covering a lot of things from my training. So people that have been through my training, you'll get all this. But here, this inflection point looks like it might be tested. There's a potential that this inflection point might be tested. So using measured moves and using, oh, sorry, an alert just popped up. Using measured moves, we can look at where this might end up using the most recent measured moves, the same distance lines, which is not the same percentages, but the same distance lines on where potentially if there's a move up and then a retracement and higher lows are maintained, meaning that the market will continue in an upside and will continue in a bull trend. This would be our potential target zone for a retracement if we haven't bought this yet. So I've bought down here, but I'd be looking for, as this might be 2 or 3 months, this might be a couple weeks, but this gives us an idea of this would be our first target area. And then we would expect maybe a couple week retracement in the alt market. And then we'd be looking at measured moves. And then this would be our target area off these recent measured moves. So this, I share that just because the main point I wanted to make is that you just need to be very mindful of using measured moves. That's also why when I do measured moves, a lot of times you'll see me do highs, you'll see me do lows, but oftentimes you'll see me do ranges. I'll do something like this because I don't want to be exact. I want to be in the range. So I'm looking for the range of the measured move. So here, I'm taking the middles. I'm using I see the value channels. So I see the value channels. Probably a better thing to draw on here is here. I see the value channels in these trading ranges. So if I draw just a quick value channel from this right here, this little area here. So I see a value channel there. And then there's another value channel obviously here. That's another value channel. So a lot of times you'll see when I draw measured moves, I'm doing something like this. I'm drawing from value channel middle to value channel middle. That's what I'm drawing. And that's my measured move. Because then what was created down here? Well, here's another value channel. So when you go from value channel to value channel, you don't have to be exact, obviously, in the bottoms or tops, but it gives you the strike zones. So here, so from this value channel middle to this value channel is 43%. This one here is 33%. That's a 33% move. If we actually go and take this same move and we drop it down to here, we see that it gets us to the 25% mark of that actual value channel. So I would make my strike zone on this move here. If I was charting what I just charted here, I would be making my strike zone right in here. That'd be my strike zone. So I know I feel like I probably should have started with a disclaimer on this video. For people that haven't watched all my videos or aren't in my training, this is a pretty advanced video for a lot of concepts that I already cover. But I wanted to provide some clarity, mainly because measured moves are, across all markets, are one of the best strategies that I've found for finding exactly where I should be paying attention in a chart. I'll share a recent trade. Let's go to here, and Dave's a prime example of this. So Dave, which is Famous Dave's, I got in on this trade down here, and then I entered again in here when another signal fired. And I've taken some profit along the way. But here's a good example. So Dave, that's a 31% retracement. Now if we move this down and we put it here, that's a 37% retracement. But if we took it to 31, you'll see that that's right within the strike zone of where it turned around. And so I used measured moves on this recent buy. I actually went back further too. So I didn't just do the most recent, but I went back further and I looked at the average retracement. Sorry, I'm testing bots right now, so I have a lot of alerts. I should have turned those off. But this is so I used this exact strategy as the key component of understanding whether or not I should enter here, and then looked for stopping volume, looked for the right day, and then entered on this day here, this move here. So I use it across all markets. I use it in forex scalping. I use it in equities. I use it in my options trading. I use it in crypto. So this measured move is a concept that once you get down and you get really good at drawing them and having them on your chart, they allow you to analyze things and make decisions really quickly, especially on retracement buys, especially if you feel like there is an upside to a retracement buy and you get good at actually identifying the bottoms and turning points in the market. So before we jump off this video, you'll find links down below to my Discord group. If you haven't joined that, definitely join that. And subscribe here on YouTube. I look forward to seeing you in the next video.